Hyundai has revealed the US version of the all-new 2026 Palisade at the 2025 New York Auto Show. And in addition to the big styling changes inside and out, it also gets a new XRT Pro version and an impressive hybrid version for the first time. But don't worry, traditionalists, a V6 continues to be offered, but it is a newly developed 3.5-liter motor. But starting with the outside, the Palisade has grown significantly. It's 2.5 inches longer on a 2.7-inch longer wheelbase, with most of that length going to the rear of the vehicle for more space where it's needed the most. In my opinion, there's a lot to like here as far as the styling goes, but they were pretty clever with how well they hid the actual headlights, giving the Palisade this concept car-like styling up front and a 0.31 drag coefficient, one of the lowest in the segment, they say. And that helps with the impressive range the hybrid version has as well, which I'll talk more about in a minute. The backlights mirror that design, and I think one of my favorite parts of the design is how the roof rails connect with the D-pillar, making it almost appear like a single piece. The interior redesign is really well done too, with a cool wraparound dashboard that integrates the screens nicely. Those screens are the familiar double 12.3-inch curved units we've seen in other Hyundais, and they run the newest software that enables wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. But thankfully, Hyundai has retained physical HVAC controls and other buttons, along with volume and tuning knobs, a welcome change from the growing trend of buttonless and knobless interiors from others. Moving down, you'll see a nice open space for a bag and a wireless charging pad that charges at a fast 15-watt speed and even has a cooling fan for your device so it doesn't get too hot. From my experience with these new Hyundai charging pads, they're some of the best in the industry and hold your phone in really well too. There's also a Bose 14-speaker stereo available and lots of improved materials. The front and second row seats are all available with the relaxation seats that Hyundai has with power recline and leg rests. Moving on to the back seats though, you're still able to get a bench and make this an 8-seater, but if you get the captain's chairs, you'll get the power sliding seats just like the last generation, which I really love and makes this one of the easily accessible third rows in the segment, and especially, one of the best ones for smaller kids that don't have the muscle to lift a heavy lever like many of the competitors offer. Also in that third row, they say you now get more space. I hopped back there, and to my surprise, the third row seemed about the same amount of space as the last generation, but that third row does slide, and this prototype didn't have that function working, so I'll wait until I review one of these before I make my final opinion on them. But for now, first impression is that it appears the Toyota Grand Highlander might still have a bigger third row, but again, we'll wait and see. That third row does get a better view out thanks to bigger windows, and there's cup holders and USB-C ports on both sides, which is something not everyone also includes. Upper trims also get power recline, heating for that third row, and even have buttons now up front for the driver to raise and lower seats in the second and third rows without even needing to get out of their car. And the last nice improvement for the third row is that their seatbelts now get pre-tensioners and load limiters. This means that crash safety for the third row should be top notch. And that's a big deal, with many other companies right now struggling with the new IIHS test that currently is only starting to judge second row safety for kids in those seatbelts. And so Hyundai is not only checking that box, but going that extra mile and adding this to the third row really shows their commitment to safety for all seats, not just, good scores and a marketing feature. And that is really huge in my opinion. While we're on the topic of safety, you can see the laundry list of standard safety features that are impressive on their own, but there's also an advanced rear occupant alert that can detect movement inside the vehicle, and there's now built-in dash cams that record at 1440p that can record while driving or even while parked, and also get triggered if they detect movement or someone bumping into the vehicle, for example, which is a really nice feature. Dash cams are a great idea in general, and it's so nice to have it just integrated into the car here. Another cool feature that's available is the UVC sterilization compartment that was first introduced in the Santa Fe to keep your phone and other objects nice and clean there if that's something that you think about. Cargo space, they say, is improved as well, and there's a nicely sized cubby under the floor there too. Now, moving on to the mechanical changes. First, like I mentioned earlier, a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6 is the standard offering. It's a newly developed, direct-injected 3.5-liter V6, down from the old 3.8-liter one we had previously. Surprisingly, this one makes 4 less horsepower, now 287 horsepower, and 260 pound-feet of torque, which is 2 less pound-feet than before. It's hooked up to an 8-speed torque converter automatic and can either put power to only the front wheels or to all 4 wheels with the H-Track all-wheel drive system still continuing to be an extra cost option, but that does make it a nice potential savings for those in sunny states that don't need the all-wheel drive that many competitors make standard and force on you. And this powertrain is also targeted to tow 5,000 pounds, and there's even a dedicated tow mode now. Moving on to that new hybrid option, it's a new setup for Hyundai using a 2.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder that does 258 horsepower on its own, but is then combined with 2 electric motors that boost power to an estimated total of 329 horsepower and 339 pound-feet of torque. They're expecting over 30 mpg on the highway and an impressive range of 619 miles. It'll also tow 4,000 pounds, they estimate, and it gets some unique features like a stay mode that allows extended battery usage for longer use of the infotainment and HVAC systems. And all Palisades get more sound deadening for 2026 as well, but the hybrid should be especially quiet with all the engine off operation that hybrids enable. Lastly, let's briefly talk about the new XRT Pro version. The Pro was added because they say this goes further than past regular XRT trims, and aside from the styling changes outside and inside that you've already seen here, it also gets a unique rear electronic limited slip differential, an extra inch of ground clearance for 8.4 inches total now, improved approach, breakover, and departure angles, all-terrain tires on unique 18-inch wheels, a surround view monitor with a forward ground view, there's mud, sand, and snow drive modes, and more. We don't have pricing info for any of these Palisades yet, but we should know soon because Hyundai has said that the V6 version will begin arriving at dealers early this summer, so just a couple of months here. And the hybrid version will be coming in early fall, so not too long of a wait for that one either. So anyway, that's all the info we have on the 2026 Palisade. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Be sure to check out my playlist for all the other 2025 New York Auto Show debuts this year, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.